I see that there is something that was said that left a very bad taste in your mouth. It's something that didn't sit right with you. Maybe even thinking about this conversation and what was said is making you feel sick to your stomach. There's something deeply, deeply unsettling about the words that were said. And I do get the sense that this was you who said these words. And you keep replaying the scenario over and over again, going over your words, but you're not hearing exactly what they said. And there's something here where it's like this person makes you so intimidated or nervous to where you you get so in your head and so wrapped up almost in yourself and how you're being perceived that you cannot see how you are making this other person feel. And I see that like the thing that was said, you're afraid that they do not know your heart or your intention on the matter. Like they don't understand you fully, so they don't understand what exactly it is that you were said, like it was taken out of context. And like I think you do regret your choice of wording. The choice of wording was not the best to convey what it is that you were trying to deliver to them. And that's like you're getting hung up on a specific word that was said, and maybe that word doesn't sit right with you, but I want you to know like it doesn't, like I think this person isn't even thinking that deep about it. Like you're all in your head and stressed out because this person's opinion matters a lot to you, but they're like not thinking anything about it. Like they and that's the problem, is you weren't paying attention to them and what they were saying because you were so in your head. And if you had paid more attention to them, you would see like they literally don't care. Why is this person making you feel so intimidated? It's really an interesting feeling because it's like this sense of anxiety and nerves, and maybe it is someone who like isn't on the same wavelength as you. Maybe they've misunderstood you in the past. I also get that maybe like you're a really deep thinker and you look into a situation super deep, and they're like a more shallow thinker. Not necessarily like they're not a bad person. It's just when they think about a conversation and they've probably already forgotten what you said. Like they are really not thinking about it like that. And that's, I think they just don't think as deep as you do about situations, and they don't take things to heart. I think this is also like whoever this is someone who just talks a lot. Like they talk so much and they don't always think before they speak. So they don't put so much weight to other people's words either, because like words don't carry a lot of weight to them. But I see that you're a person who like loves words, and maybe you're like a writer or a poet or a Gemini like me, or just something. Maybe you have a lot of planets in your third house, just someone who really cares about communication and healthy open communication. And I think you're a very blunt or honest person, so then it just feels like sometimes your bluntness or your honesty, you worry about how it's being received by people. And so in some ways, people who like aren't thinking that, like with how blunt you are, you do need people who aren't like getting hung up on it. Like people who don't care so much, because your bluntness and your honesty can sometimes rub people the wrong way. And I see this person is good for you in this way, because you couldn't really say anything that would set them off or put them off of you, if that makes sense. Let's see what cards we have here. Okay, yeah, we have 3 of Cups and 8 of Cups. Interesting. So I just want to confirm this person, whoever this is, they love you. Like this feels like a friend. And yeah, they like I almost feel like if you were to tell them how much you've been stressing and worrying and thinking about them, like thinking they're upset with you, I think they would laugh at you. Like I get the feeling they'd be like, wait, what? Like what? And maybe that's the 8 of Cups, like they literally have not thought about this since then. And I feel like this is something like it's kept you up at night. Like you've really been stressing and worrying almost, I feel like this has gone on for months. And I think you've spent time with this person since then, and you're still hung up on this conversation, and like they're literally like, no dude, you're my friend, I love you, I just don't even know. Yeah, that's really cute. I think you need to just I mean, I don't even feel like this is something you need to address. You just need to let it go and maybe assess why this person is triggering insecurities around your communication style, especially if they love you so much. I mean, I'm sure they appreciate how you communicate. So it's like, what is it about this person that's making me feel like worried so much about how they're perceiving me? Because it seems like they love you, they celebrate you. So this worry over how they're perceiving you is a little bit silly. And I don't want to like laugh or minimize your feelings, but this worry that you've been feeling is a little bit silly given the circumstance and the connection with this person. We have a lot of cards. Okay. Ooh, okay. There's a woman who broke your heart. A woman who broke your heart deeply, and there's still a wound there. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a woman like this. It's a, we're a growing collective, so it can relate to, but I'm picking up on like strong feminine energy, like someone who you were just enchanted by. Like I'm just seeing someone who has this big, like queen bee type of energy, someone who ran the show, like called the shots, and that you were just so swept up in them and their energy, their power, and I feel like this is someone who's like we have Three of Swords and then we have Queen of Wands. So this is a fiery person. This is like someone, yeah, and the wind is blowing a lot. This, I think, this insecurity you had with your other friend is coming up because of this old wound relating to this Queen of Wands person. And I see that you do need to address the wounds from this connection. And maybe I think like there's something about like you told yourself that you've been over this. Like you have, yeah, because we have Seven of Cups and Ace of Swords afterwards. You've been telling yourself that you've been like exploring new connections, you've been making new friendships, you've been making new relationships, and you've been telling yourself with this Ace of Swords here that you've renewed yourself. Like you're not in the Three of Swords anymore. You're Ace. You've had a fresh beginning, but clearly you haven't because this insecurity is coming up. Who is this person? Why have they had such a strong effect on you and an impact? I am saying this is someone like from the deep past. Like this is not a recent heartbreak. This is from the deep past. And maybe they're a water sign because I am picking up like with that deep, like maybe a Pisces or a Scorpio. They could be Cancer as well, but I'm really picking up on Pisces and Scorpio. Maybe they had a Pisces moon as well, or a Scorpio moon or rising, but Pisces or Scorpio. Ooh, this woman that you were in love with had a thing for like deception or manipulation. Like maybe they started to make you feel like you were going crazy because of, they would almost, and I'm picking up on spider energy, which I do love spider energy, but this woman had this thing where she like spun a web of lies, not necessarily lies, but stories. Like this sort of enchantment that you felt, I feel was not real. It would be one thing if you were enchanted by someone because you were seeing their authentic truth, but I see that you were enchanted because of this persona or story they built up about themselves. And the reason why they start hurting you is because you were starting to get too close. And once you started to get too close, they were afraid that you were going to realize the depth of their deception with you, because they knew that all the things you loved them for and you felt so deeply in love with them for was a part of this persona they were putting on and not necessarily their true self. And I do see that they, like, with the, and I'm picking, I love both Pisces and Scorpio, so don't think I'm saying these are like bad signs and you always have to avoid them, but they both have this murkiness to them, and it's like they switched the flip on you, flipped the switch. There's this like maybe there was a lot of projection going on. They made you feel that you harmed them or hurt them in a certain way. But I'm seeing that whatever they said that you were doing or was actually what they were doing. And they really got to you. They got in your head in a way that someone should not have that level of power over you. And you know this, and you know that this obsession you've had, I do see a pattern of putting people on a pedestal, and you know that this is unhealthy. You know this is not good for you, and you know that no one person should have this level of power or control over you. And I do see that you're doing this again with this new connection, this person that's making you feel anxious and nervous about how they're perceiving you. I don't think this is a bad person. When we pulled this Three of Cups, this feels like a really healthy new connection. And I do see, like, they love you and care about you. They don't want you to do this. Like, they don't want you to put them on a pedestal. They don't want you to, like, yeah. And I think this is something that they have felt from you. So it's not necessarily like this conversation that you're overthinking about. They haven't thought about that since, but they do feel a shift in you, and they feel that there's like they sense this anxiety, even though they don't know where it's coming from. And it's coming from putting them on a pedestal. And maybe you're like, I'm a bit of a lone wolf. It takes a lot for someone to win my favor. And so when you do, like, maybe that's where this putting people on a pedestal comes from, is when you do find someone that you actually, like, really respect and admire, it's hard for you to process those feelings. It's hard for you to understand what's happening within you to be so swayed by another person, because typically I see you're not the type of person to be swayed by anyone. Like, I'm getting Aquarius energy, you walk your own path. So maybe that's where some of this, like, anxiety and insecurity is coming from as well, is like, you're not used to feeling like the one you're not used to feeling like the one who's doing the chasing. Like, in a cat and mouse game, I see that you're typically the mouse, and for whatever reason you feel like you're the cat. And maybe this is something, like, you just need to talk to this person. Like, maybe you feel like you're putting a lot of the effort in the friendship, and maybe it's just the way that they show love or connection is different from you, and that's triggering some sort of insecurity. And I'm saying maybe you just need some reassurance. And also, maybe the way they put effort into the friendship is different than how you put effort into it. But yeah, there's two cards that have been on the ground upside down for a minute now, so let me grab those. Okay. Yes, okay. We have 10 of Swords and Strength. This is, an ego death of sorts. You have to relinquish so much, like, stop putting so much weight to their thoughts about you. And ego is all about, like, our ego is so concerned with how it is seen and perceived. So anytime you start to have this where you're, like, insecure about what someone's thinking about you, it's probably your ego scrambling or feeling unsafe for some sort of reason. And that's something else that needs to be addressed, is why you feel a lack of safety with this person. Like, I don't think that they're gonna do physical harm to you, and you know that, but there's something here about, like, you don't fully feel safe with this person. And I feel like it's weird because they feel safe with you. So, again, maybe they have qualities or characteristics of that Queen of Wands person who hurt you. And I do think they're, like, a more healthy version of that. Like, it's almost like the Queen of Wands 2.0 is who you're interacting with now. Or maybe in the past it was like a Queen of Wands reversed energy, and now you're with someone who's Queen of Wands upright. But there's little similarities or, characteristics that you're picking up on within your mind or in your spirit, and you have to, let go of the hurts of the past, that Three of Swords we saw earlier. I think I kept saying Three of Wands, so again, fire energy is coming up a lot. I'm so sorry if I was getting those mixed up. I do want to take this time to welcome you to my channel. If this is the first time the algorithm has brought you to me, I'm AvaAlanna. I'm a spiritual advisor and consultant, and I help people work through issues they're facing within their life and within their goals and like working towards their dreams. And I do tarot. I use astrology as well, but I use these spiritual tools to give practical advice and tangible day-to-day things that you can do to step into that highest version of yourself. If that sounds interesting to you, click the link in the description box. Also, if you're here and you're enjoying, if you're 15 minutes in with me, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm so happy you're here. Anyways, let's get back to the reading. We did also have a card that like the wind took all the way to the grass. So at the end of the video, I will check and see what card that is, because I'm sure there's some sort of a message there for you. Everything happens for a reason. Nothing's coincidence, right? You need to see, like, take your power back. That's what I'm getting with the Ten of Swords and strength coming. You've given this, you give people in your life way too much power over you. And I think it comes from a deep admiration. And so it's like a beautiful part of you, but it's being twisted, and you need to make it healthy again. You have to restore the energy there by taking your power back. You can love someone and not give them all your power, if that makes sense. Like, you can love someone and not have this, like, and also they don't have to always agree with what you're saying or doing. It's okay to have, like, agree to disagree moments with people that you care about. Ooh. There's a deep fear of confrontation here. And maybe confrontation with something that was not allowed for you in your family. Like, I'm seeing, you know, some families fight and argue. Like, I mean, like, the jokes about you go into certain families and, like, I'm picking up on, like, the maybe when you go to a friend's house and they're calling their mom by their first name and you're like, what? Like, it feels like a lack of respect to you, but in their family it's normal. I see that, like, in your family it was not normal to fight or to have any sort of discussions or debates with anyone. Like, you couldn't disagree or else you would be punished. And so now in your relationships, like, you feel like you're constantly having to walk on eggshells around everyone, even if they're not, like, a sensitive person. Like, again, in the beginning, this person's like, dude, I'm not even thinking about that. So it's almost a feeling of, and maybe people told you you were the sensitive one. Like, people said that about you, that they felt like they had to walk on eggshells around you, but also this is a projection, because I do see, like, you were the one within your family who almost had to be the emotional transmuter of the family. Like, you felt like you had to manage and hold down the fort when it came to your family's emotional issues. And so now in your friendships, you can't even have, like, a fun, healthy debate, because it triggers feelings of insecurity, because maybe there was a time when if someone did not understand exactly what you were saying when you disagreed, it was unsafe. And so, wow, deep stuff we're picking up on here. If I do feel like this is feeling uncomfortable for you, even us talking about it, I feel like a closing in my heart. So I just want you to take this moment to take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, relax your heart. You're safe, especially here. I'm like, this is a completely safe space to look at these things. I know it's sensitive, but when we have triggers coming up present day that come from, and also I don't know if you're familiar with the four corners, but I am picking up on winds of the west. And for me personally, I studied shamanism under a Peruvian Incan lineage. So for me, that's jaguar energy. So I want you to look at the triggers in your current friendships, relationships, connections, and really, like a jaguar, stalk where that trigger comes from, like you're stalking your prey. We have to look for the source. And I know sometimes we can just relax and let the energy pass through us. We don't always have to remember the very first time this wound came up. But I am seeing within your especially if you want to move forward and have more healthy friendships. And this has been a thing, and like I really feel like this collective is calling in community at this time. You want a village to yourself, and you want almost like a sacred circle, a woman's circle. You want this, but to have this, you do have to address the issues you've had in connection with fellow humans in the past. And that's, I think, like what you're trying to manifest or call in, especially like this sacred women's circle energy I'm picking up on. You don't even fully believe in it. Like, I don't think you've had any physical proof or evidence that's possible. But this new friend that you have, they have the potential to go there with you. But if you keep sabotaging it with your own anxieties and worries, I do see like this, you have to master this so you don't throw this friendship away, which I think we can come back from anything, but this new friendship is such a beautiful opportunity to practice healthy vulnerability and connection. And either you're going to open your heart and surrender and go into that 10 of Swords and allow yourself to show up in vulnerability with this person, or you're going to decide to hold on to your ego and keep the thing that's crazy is in the past so many people projected themselves onto you, the things that they were doing wrong, the insecurities that they had, they projected on you, but now you've so much identified with them and taken them on yourself that now you're the one doing the projecting. And I know that is hard to hear, and I don't want to, sometimes my messages are going to be really like, you're doing a great job, and positivity and abundance and gifts and blessings are coming in. But then other times we do have to address the way we're blocking our blessings. And for this collective, I don't want you guys to block your blessings. I want us to become as clear and unjaded as possible. So we do have to have these tough conversations about the ways. I mean, if someone's playing the victim, usually it's someone who was a victim originally, and then they weren't able to process that wound, and so now, and that's like in these insecurities people projected on you, you're now projecting them onto other people. So they have to be dealt with, because I do see you're a lover, like you love so deeply. And even though you're selective with the people that you love and bring into your circle, again, I'm really getting women's circle. Even though you are selective, once you do choose someone, the way that you love is so intense and so deep and so beautiful. Like, you would genuinely do anything for the people you care about. So, yeah. It's like, okay, I don't know if you heard these things that like, oh, I would die for you. And you're like, okay, but would you do the dishes for me? And that's like you say you would die for your friends, but are you strong enough? Like that strength card, do you have the strength to work through these triggers and traumas and issues that you have? And I want to be completely fair and come from a place of non-judgment, and I know that you're very, very hard on yourself. Actually, like, you're harder on yourself than so many people. You punish yourself for things that you don't even need to be punished for. So I don't want you to take what I'm saying and like snowball it into some horrible thing, like you're just this horrible person and you don't know how to connect with people. That's not what I'm saying. This is just like one of the final steps, and we're getting you've done so much work on yourself, so now the last things that need to be cleared in order for you to bring this sacred circle in, this manifestation of community in, we have to get a little bit nitpicky, because what you're calling in is a very high form and expression, a high vibration of love. So you just have to, you have to be an energetic match. So these it's like little teeny tiny things that need to be critiqued and fixed, but they're small things. Like, I know this feels like really intense and earth-shattering hearing this about yourself, but I want you to know, like, it's not. I know it feels intense, but this is not a big thing. You're so human for this. And I'm sorry that this is almost something that happened to you. but we're making it so that it happened for you. Am I right? We're using it as a learning lesson and a way that you can develop your strength. Again, that strength card. Strength always only can come from experience and from having to go through tough things to develop that strength. Yes, let's see if we have any more cards here. It's been Knight of Cups. Yes. And maybe, like, in your connections moving forward, with this Knight of Cups, I am picking up on just a vulnerability, you making an action of love towards the people in your life, and that's you stepping out and working on this is really a declaration of love for the people. And again, a lot of this I'm picking up on is more like sacred women's circle community. I'm not picking up on love for this particular video. So this just seems like a truce. And it's funny because like the person I was picking, they weren't fighting with you. So coming to a truce is really funny, but that's the energy that I'm getting. It's almost like coming to a truce with yourself and your own insecurities that you've been. Okay, the Knight of Cups, I'm also like, it's not even so much about your friends, it's about you meeting yourself in a new way. And you like clearly desire community. And it's a way that you can meet yourself on a deeper level and almost like offer yourself what it is that your heart is longing for. Wow. It's really beautiful. Okay. 8 of Wands. Once you do this work, that community is coming in quick, and that's almost why there's this pressure from the universe, why we had to get a little tough and a little bit serious, is because like your community, your tribe, your family, your found family, the family that you're going to be choosing, they're like, they want you to come into their life so bad. Like there's a group of people who's just like, it's like I'm seeing, oh, this is cute. I just watched Agatha All Along, and how when they went on the witches road, they needed like a certain number of witches in their coven, and they needed witches with certain gifts. There's this movie, it's a German movie, I think, that I watched when I was in Greece, and it was like, you needed a witch from every element, like you needed an air witch, an earth witch, water, and fire. And so like I see that there's a group of people and they have all the spots filled but one, and this spot that's left is like a perfect fit for you. And so that's like this is incoming. As soon as you make this final shift within yourself, this group is going to come in your life very quickly. And that might be, you intuitively can probably feel this, and it probably makes you a little bit nervous, but yeah, they're waiting for you. Yeah, don't fight this. Like, you have to make a decision that you're not going to be the lone wolf anymore. And there's a lot of internal conflict around this simply because it's something you've never experienced before, but don't resist. Let this come in for you. Unblock yourself, unjade yourself. Okay, you have, what is this? It's a fear of abandonment, but also avoidant attachment. You have avoidant attachment style in your relationships, and you need to balance this out. The first time an insecurity comes up, it's not an excuse to run away from that person you care about. Anyways, I say this with so much love. I feel like this was a harsher message, and it's funny because it's not even like, I don't have it in me to be too harsh with you. But yes, if this resonates, again, like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you have a beautiful day. I can't wait to hear about this friendship community circle that you're calling in and it's going to come in quick, so get ready for it. I can't wait to hear. I hope you have a great day. Wish you all the best. Ciao.